What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Liberate Your Money, episode 46. It is December 17th. We had a major liquidation washout. That was when I did my last video a couple weeks ago. Past 2 weeks I've had COVID, so I've been kind of under the weather, but feeling a lot better now, and gonna take a look at the Bitcoin chart, some altcoins, and just kind of give you my thoughts. So in the last video I was kind of telling you guys that I thought things didn't look good. They still don't look good. I've been selling a lot of altcoins. I'm not done selling, you know. I've basically been selling on pumps, basically all my weak stuff, you know, just doing a lot of consolidating and just planning for the exit. And because I mean the chart looks terrible, I'm not gonna beat around the bush, or you know, I tell my friends a lot, I don't want to base my trading strategy or my profit taking strategy around hope, right? It's I'd rather take my profits and then wait for the chart to look better before I lose those gains, instead of just riding it out and then this thing turns into a double top and then goes down to 20k or something, and I lose all my gains. I'm not gonna do that. So I've been sitting in a lot of stables. I took a lot of my profits that I was planning on taking this cycle, and I don't really plan on buying back anytime soon. Some of my bid levels did hit for Solana and stuff on these dips, but we'll kind of get into that as we look at those charts. So Bitcoin, we had this major washout, and the week after that we had a nice little rebound up to this 50k area, and we're still seeing a lot of weakness in the chart. This price action reminds me a lot of the previous bottom, when we broke down from the previous all-time high in April of this year, and we had this crazy washout down to 30k. The price action feels like this. You can tell we just had a major washout. All pumps are getting sold off, and it's just agonizing price action, right? This looks terrible. I mean, just every pump just gets sold off, and before you know it, it's back at the bottom of the range and looking like it wants to go lower, right now. And as you can see, on this major breakdown, it wicked hard, just like we wicked here, but price ultimately still came down and retested this area and even swooped the lows. And I'm kind of expecting something similar. I'm pretty sure that these lows are going to get swept, or at least we're going to revisit them and maybe even get into this 39 40k liquidity, retest this old breakout area, and you know, from there we'll see what happens. But that's kind of what the chart looks like. That's what the price action reminds me of. It's been just agonizing. If you're longing this, I bet you're just want to pull your hair out, because I mean there is some encouraging signs. I mean, if we look at the awesome oscillator, it's trending up. If you look at the RSI, it does have a bull div on the daily all the way up to the 4 hour. I mean, it's there, but it's just the sell pressure is pretty intense right now, and I could totally see a green dildo just pumping up to 53 or 57k real quick and then getting sold off, or honestly, I'm prepared for anything. But the major levels for me that I'm watching are this 53k level, and then I also want to see us get into that 57k, which if we actually zoom out, let's look at major levels on the Bitcoin chart. Let's even zoom out further. Let's look at the yearly chart. So each candle's a year, so that would give us the yearly open was 29,300. I believe that's what it was. 28,992. So that's the yearly open. We don't want to go below that, because then that looks like a major SFP, and it just, things start to look pretty nauseous after that. So if we zoom into the 6-month chart, we can see that we've had last 6 months had kind of a wicking candle. It's not great. It doesn't necessarily look like price wants to go up. I mean, we ran into resistance. It got shut down pretty good, down to this 36K, 35K when we had that dip in April. And we since rebounded, went and retested all-time highs, broke it, and then now we've sold off, and we're sitting at 46K. So your next level of interest, major level, is that 35K. We zoom into the quarterly chart. I actually like the quarterly chart. I think this tells us a lot. Obviously, the next quarterly level would be 43.8K. So that's kind of the next level I'm looking at. 47.1 was a major monthly level I was watching, but the quarterly level would be that 43.8. As you can see, we've wicked from testing these all-time highs. The chart actually feels like it's telling you more about what price wants to do, and that's what we want to see. I mean, we want to try to figure out what price is going to do next, right? So like, clearly this was the old all-time high or quarterly closes. Price got above it, got immediately shut down. I mean, we had this drop. Now we're down to 46.1. It just doesn't look good. It's an SFP candle. Like, it's inviting a revisit down to that 35K level and maybe even the range lows. So like, so you could basically say that we're stuck in a range between that the yearly open, which is 28.9K, and this range high, this quarterly high, which is 58.7K. Those would be like the two most important closes, I would say, for this range, from the high and the low, and we're just stuck in between it. And a lot of alts can bleed in the meantime. If this does revisit the lows, obviously these alts aren't going to do very well. They haven't been doing well, and we're going to look at some of these charts, and they just don't look good. And then like, my whole thing is like, even if some of these charts do look like they're retesting all-time highs, like, what's going to be the main driver to push these into like another leg up? Like, we just had the FOMC Fed meeting, and they said that they're going to start tapering. I think it was March, like basically end of Q1. So like, we could maybe get like a Q1 pump into the taper, and then we start tapering, and that's when we start seeing weakness. But like, we're already seeing weakness, especially in risk assets like crypto. So like, my strategy has been like assuming that this is the top, and waiting for the charts to show me some strength, and then like, I've got my profits that I'm going to keep this cycle, and then like, I have some cash left over, and if I want to redeploy that, if the charts show me strength, then maybe I'll think about doing that. But like, until then, like, I'm going to protect my capital and see what happens as we head into like the end of the year, which is like usually a bullish time of the year. So, but like I said, you're searching for a narrative that can push these things higher, and right now I just don't see it. I mean, there's a lot of things that are bad. The Fed is tapering. There's talks of, interest rates. People are raising interest rates all over the world, and we're kind of the slow ones to do it because like, we have one of the better economies. But like, it's coming. Like, they're trying to taper. We're gonna have crazy inflation. Another thing that I could see that maybe is actually bullish on the flip side of things is like, we have midterms next year. Democrats are in charge. They have both houses. Like, all of that's in jeopardy in an election year. Are they gonna like push for more tapering, or are they gonna be wanting to keep S&P at all-time highs by keeping some QE intact? Like, we're just gonna have to see how they play it. I think that they're gonna let inflation run pretty hot for like the next year. They're gonna blame a lot of things, and it's ultimately gonna boil down to what the Fed is doing. And yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of planning ahead for that. There's a lot of scary weak hands. Some of the on-chain metrics don't look that great for Bitcoin. So I mean, we just gotta wait and see what happens. But like, I'm trying to play it safe. So let's look at Solana. So this is the daily chart, and my bid's down to at 160. I actually pulled these bids because I started selling some Solana when it was pushing back above 200. I started scaling out of some of my position, and so I didn't really like. That was kind of when I started seeing. That was after like the big liquidation event, and like also I was trying to scale out of my alts anyways. Like I was planning on selling my Solana, some of my BNB, and some of my weaker alts. So like I really didn't feel right buying again right away, even though like that was a good level, and like you can see we went a little below. It actually got down into the 140s before bouncing, and now it's like kind of sitting above this little consolidation area, so it looks decent. But like as you can see, every pump is getting sold off into, and it's just, you know, this could easily come down to 124, 120 area, even down to 130s or something, and it would still be within this range. So like, I think you just got to be smart. If you've made a lot of money this cycle, I think the timing is right for the 4-year cycle for us to have a bear market. I mean, it's really just like, why would you risk it? That's kind of my attitude going forward. Like, I'm trying to be way smarter about my profits and how I'm managing my portfolio. And so far, like, I've been happy with the gains of this cycle. So like, it just depends on your situation. You know, if you're, I would definitely play more of the cautious side. Obviously, that's more my strategy. It's been more profitable for me doing it that way. The charts still look weak, so like until Solana can get like, you know, reclaim some of these levels, like can it get back up to 200 and hold those levels? We'll see. Like, I'm long-term bullish. Like I'm only selling like half of my Solana bag. I have a fat Solana bag. I've been buying since $3. So like, I've got a lot of Solana. I've made a lot of money on it. That's why I'm taking my profits, because like, I just have to. Like, when you're sitting in that much profit, you have to take some and pay yourself. And on the dips, if it's a strong project, like, you buy more. That's what's great about it, is when you have the cash on the sidelines, you can always buy the dip. So but yeah, I'd like to see Solana get back above that 195, 200 area. AVAX has been actually strong lately. It's been one of the stronger coins. I still hold some of my AVAX that I bought in the 80s, low 80s. And after this correction, that's right at the level that we bounced, which was like these previous all-time highs. The same area that we sprung off of going up on this move. We came back down, retested it, and found support. And it actually shot up to like 115, 120 almost. And now it's kind of back into this range here with these dotted lines. So one of the stronger alts, one of the more undervalued layer ones, I would say, compared to market caps, as far as like Ethereum and Solana go, and BNB. AVAX is, I think it's only 26 billion market cap, so it's right there with like Polkadot. Yeah, then Pyre is another one I've been in. These guys had a hack. The chart, I mean, it still looks good. It's considering everything that's happened to this freaking, I mean, all these charts have broken their trend lines and are kind of just like either sitting in a consolidation area. Like, it looked better when it was up here, when it had this drop. This was from the hack. We came back and revisited these lows, but these lows have been getting protected, which is nice to see. The chart still looks awful. I mean, it looks, you know, if it loses these lows down here at $16, $17, it's going to look really ugly. It's probably going to go much lower, like, and retest that $7 range probably. So who knows? I did hear that these guys are going to be forking, so I don't know. You just got to have to stay on top of what these guys are doing, but they're still gaining like tons of users. Massive project. I don't think the hack was like the end of them, so like I'm still confident in the project. I'm still holding my bag. If this does go lower, I'll probably just end up like buying more. Like it's a metaverse play, and I just really like the fundamentals of this one. Atom, I'm going to be unstaking my Atom after I claim my rewards, the airdrops. Yeah, this chart just doesn't look good. I mean, this has been a strong trend line for it for a really long time. Whoops. And as you can see, we're below it. I mean, it got below it a couple times before, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's over, but like the chart just looks terrible. This thing looks like it could bleed out, maybe even retest these lows around $10. So you just got to be cautious. I don't really know what's going to happen. I think I seen this interesting chart. Somebody was looking at odd years versus even years on Bitcoin and the returns, and odd years were like outperforming massively over even years, and we're about to head into an even year. It's been 2 years since we've been in a bull run. Like, I just think, I mean, look at this chart. We've been in a bull run since end of December 2018. We bottomed around 3K. We had this major run up in 2019, corrected, then we started to make our way back up, then we had the coronavirus scare that brought everything down, and then we continued the march back up, and now we're 2 years into this. We're at the end of 2021. I mean, from the bottom of 2018, it's basically called the beginning of 2019 to the end of 2021, almost 3 years into this. And you know, you just gotta wonder, is it time to kind of take a breather and you know, consolidate a little bit and gain a nice base before another move up? Because look, like we're up like 600-700% from 2020. I mean, it went from 4K to 69K. Like, it's up a lot. Like, you know, if people start taking profits, if people get scared, tapering, you know, it's just gives you an opportunity to buy the things that you want to at a lower price. And that's the beauty of this market, the beauty of the volatility, and its infant stage. I mean, it's like the volatility is a blessing if you think about it, if you can play it right. You know, if you're just a holder, it gets really heart-wrenching because you see these massive profits you make, and then you hold it down to 50, 60, 70% below, sometimes even more than that, and it just crushes you. I mean, you either panic sell or you just start making bad decisions. And like, if you preserve your capital, then you start to think about it more, you plan ahead, you know, you set stop losses, and for me, like, you just end up making more money. So yeah, we're 3 years into this thing, man, and we've got another 2 years before 2024 for the next halving in Bitcoin. So I feel like there's a lot of correcting to do, especially in altcoins. A lot of things are overvalued. I was just looking at Solana and Avalanche. These are the yearly opens for Solana. $1.50. Avalanche was $3.20. Both of them are 3 digits. 3-digit coins still. So, like, things could correct a lot still, guys. Like, I want to see Bitcoin convincingly get above 57K. And, yeah. I think it's time to preserve the capital. It's time to plan ahead and play it safe. So that's all I got in this one, man. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Stay safe. Alright, peace out.